Thanks for joining us in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics, coming from our beautiful studios as always. And man, the National Football League, it is a big, old marketing genius. There's no question about that. And what are they doing now? They're marketing the schedule. Everybody knows who they're playing. That was announced quite a while ago. But where and when, filling in all those blanks, has become a big deal. And we're going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals 2022 schedule right now. First off, in the preseason, the Bengals, I know who their opponents are. They have the Arizona Cardinals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. They go to New York to play the Giants, and then they've got the Los Angeles Rams at Paul Brown Stadium. I think that one could very well be nationally televised. Dates have not been established yet. Television has not been established yet. Kickoff times, all that, all kind of have an idea about is the opponent. But the Bengals are going to get a taste of nationally televised games when the Los Angeles Rams, who won Super Bowl 56, obviously the Bengals playing them in Super Bowl 56, they're looking for the rematch. Even though it's the third preseason game, I'm sure the networks will pick that bad boy up. There's no question about it. You know, a few things to look at from a schedule standpoint. The Bengals ended up with 5 national broadcasts, just like a lot of people expected and anticipated. 3 of them are on the road. 2 of those are at home. They've also got 3 late game piggybacks at the 4:25 kickoff. And those get big eyes as well. I mean, those piggyback double headers, those are big, big games. So literally half the schedule, 8 of the 17 games, the networks kind of were fighting over. So the Cincinnati Bengals are a team that a lot of people want to take a good look at this season in 2022. Let's go right to the schedule. One thing about the schedule, the Bengals do not have 3 straight road games or 3 straight home games whatsoever in the schedule. Nothing more than 2. And that's kind of a little interesting scenario there. They've also got 4 times they have 2 straight road games, and only 2 times they have 2 straight home games. So let's give it a quick rundown here in the initial schedule. For the first time in franchise history, the Cincinnati Bengals open up with the Pittsburgh Steelers on September 11th. That is Sunday, September 11th, 1 o'clock kick. CBS will be broadcasting that game. And in my mind, it's good to catch Mike Tomlin early, particularly when he is unsure at the quarterback position. Either quarterback, neither one of them, the candidates, will have taken a regular season snap with their football team against the Cincinnati Bengals, with the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive structure and working with teammates in a regular season snap. Not one regular season snap. So you have quarterback uncertainty, and you have Mike Tomlin, who, as the season goes on, it's like Bill Belichick. You don't want to get Mike Tomlin and Bill Belichick later in the season as things get grounded and get established. So I like that opener for the Bengals. Pittsburgh Steelers, 1 o'clock, Paul Brown Stadium. Week 2, September 18th, on the road, the Dallas Cowboys, 4:25. It's one of those doubleheader piggyback games on CBS. The Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. This offense is explosive. Dak Prescott. One thing that comes to mind, Dak against Dax. First-round pick of the Cincinnati Bengals. Dax on the back end. Quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Dak against Dax. We'll see how much Dax is playing in that second game, the first road game for the Cincinnati Bengals at 4:25 down there in Dallas. The one guy that I'm really intrigued about seeing, Micah Parsons. This guy is a freakazoid. It's a positionless linebacker. The Bengals have to offensively account for him every single snap. That guy jumps off tape. He is a special, special football player. Week 3, September 25th. Again, another Sunday at the New York Jets, 1 o'clock kick on CBS. 2 things come to mind. Last year, the Bengals laid an egg. Forget an egg. A dinosaur egg. As big an egg as you can lay out there in New York. Got to go make restitution. Don't give the game away. Take care of the football. The other thing is the C.J. Uzomah factor. The defensive coaches for the New York Jets have C.J. Uzomah standing up in front of them and his defensive teammates, telling them everything that he knows about the Bengals offense, what the philosophy of the coaching staff is, what makes Joe Burrow tick. He's the spy as such. He's the guy that's going to spew as much information about the Cincinnati Bengals as he possibly can, which is what everybody does. Now, is that overrated? Probably a little bit. You can get it off of tape, but there's nothing like knowing the personalities of people that you have as teammates and what makes them tick, what makes them make decisions that they might make. Every little bit helps. Next up, week 4, September 29th, the Miami Dolphins, the first nationally televised game for the Cincinnati Bengals, Thursday night at 8:15, Amazon Prime Time, 8:15. All right, will Tua make a step? Will he become an even better quarterback? In my opinion, it's team speed against team speed. The Dolphins went out and got Tyreek Hill. They also had Jalen Waddle. They can run. I mean, it's like a track team, a relay team at that receiver position. What did the Bengals do in the draft? They drafted speed. They drafted 2 defensive backs that run 4.38 and one runs 4.36. So now you got speed to counteract speed. This one is going to be an interesting track meet as such to watch at Paul Brown Stadium. You also have a new head coach for the Miami Dolphins. Better to get a new head coach as early in the season as you possibly can. Week number 5, October 9th, at the Baltimore Ravens, Sunday night football. As an aside, this is the first Sunday night game at 8:20 on NBC. Every division road game is on national television. Every division road game for the Bengals is on network television in this year's schedule. So you go to Baltimore to play the Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens had 19 players on injured reserve at the conclusion of the season, one of them being Lamar Jackson. They were a shell on themselves. And the Bengals swept them last year and beat them up pretty good. So they're going to have blood in the eye. There's no two ways about it. The Ravens in Baltimore, that's a tough challenge. Harbaugh defends his home turf pretty darn well. So that's going to be a very, very interesting football game, big matchup for the Cincinnati Bengals in Baltimore. Interestingly enough, 4 of the Bengals' first 6 games are on the road. Find out what kind of a road team you're right off the bat. Week 6, at the New Orleans Saints, 1 o'clock kick on CBS. They have a new coach as well. The New Orleans Saints, if you can't go to New Orleans and beat the Saints, you're going to have some trouble. These are some of the games as we're getting into here. The Bengals have to beat the Jets on the road. They have to get that done. They have to go to New Orleans and handle the Saints. Teams in the National Football League are not thinking the Saints are going to be upper crust. It's not going to be easy. The Saints are a solid football team, but you're going to have to go and beat the New Orleans Saints down there in New Orleans. You're going to have to be smart. You're going to have to stay off of Bourbon Street. You're going to have to sacrifice a little bit. Don't get lured by the temptations down there in New Orleans. Get ready to play your best football game, a smart, sound football game down there in New Orleans. Week number 7, October 23rd. This is the only back-to-back 1 o'clock Sunday kickoff on the entire schedule for the Cincinnati Bengals. And this one's a 1 o'clock kickoff for Fox. So the Bengals, literally, they're playing Saturday at 1 o'clock. They're playing Sunday at 1 o'clock. They're playing Sunday at 4:30. They're playing Sunday night. They're playing Monday night. They're playing Thursday night. That's 6 different days and times. So you're with success comes all of this notoriety and attention, and the players have to be accountable. They have to be reliable. They have to make some sacrifice. They have to train properly, right diet, get some good rest. This is going to be a big deal to take care of yourself. Long week, short week. The coaches, Zach Taylor and his coaching staff right now, they're trying to plot out the entire calendar of the schedule to make sure, how do I sneak in an extra day off? How do I make sure their legs are fresh? Oh, we got a short week. Oh, we got a long week coming up after that. They're going to try to piece all that together. It's a big part of the schedule. There's no two ways about that. All right, so now October 31st, Halloween, week number 8. You go to Cleveland. That's Monday Night Football, 8:15 kickoff on ESPN. Monday Night Football up in Cleveland. Will it be the first game, the first start for Deshaun Watson? Could be. I mean, there are rumors he might miss 4, might miss 6, might miss 8. Who knows? Might not even be this year. Might be next year that Deshaun Watson's suspended. Nothing's firmed up right now. So could this be the first start for Deshaun Watson this week number 8 against the Bengals up in Cleveland? His first start in the National Football League for the Houston Texans was against the Cincinnati Bengals, and he beat them. He had a rushing touchdown of like 50-plus yards, scrambled to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. This is the type of player he is. He can beat you with his feet and his throwing arm, his feet and his legs. There's no doubt about it. Big division matchup at Cleveland. Week number 9, November 6th, Carolina Panthers. This team you have to beat. You have to beat at home at Paul Brown Stadium. Carolina Panthers. Will they finally get McCaffrey back? It's been almost 2 years, it seems like, that Christian McCaffrey has been unable to make the contributions that he's capable of making. Will he be able to do that this year? Will he be able to stay healthy for the Carolina Panthers? They really don't have a whole lot. So they're searching, and the Cincinnati Bengals have to beat them. So in the first week, number 10 is the bye week. So let's review. In the beginning of the season, the Cincinnati Bengals' first 9 games, they're playing teams that you got to figure go out, don't self-destruct. You can have decent success against the Jets, against the Dolphins, against the Saints, against the Falcons, against the Carolina Panthers. These are teams that you have to figure if you play your brand of football, you should be able to win those football games. Again, 4 out of 6 on the road, and that's the bye week. The Bengals, it's week 10. They've played 9 games. They have 8 games left. So we're going to take at the midpoint of the schedule, we're going to ask you if you're thinking about making a career change in the midpoint of your career. Think about First Star Logistics. No, we can't draft you like the NFL does, but First Star Logistics offers you a great opportunity to for your life's work, as Paul Brown used to tell us. Man, eventually you're going to go to your life's work. Why not make your life's work at First Star Logistics? Be part of our team. All right, so after the bye week, the Pittsburgh Steelers, first up, Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bengals open with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the first time in franchise history to start the season. After the bye, the second half of the season, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers again. This time you go into Pittsburgh, and it's Sunday Night Football, 8:20 p.m. kickoff on November 20th. We are now quarterback. We'll have whoever the starting quarterback is will have half a season under his belt. So they might look a lot different. This Pittsburgh Steelers team could look a lot different in week 11 than they looked in week 1 when the Cincinnati Bengals were prepping to play against the Pittsburgh Steelers offensively. I'm not saying schematically, but from an execution standpoint, potentially, because get your legs under you a little bit and start to learn about your teammates, and the coaches figure out what players can and can't do, and players will figure out what the coaches' expectations are of them, particularly at that quarterback position. One thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers, you better make sure that you can handle that defensive football team because they're bringing it. That defensive front is darn good with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And at this stage, the newly made Bengals offensive line, they should start to be 5 becoming 1. They should start to be playing as a unit more and more. In the early stages of the season, it may not be as well connected as a unit as it will be at the halfway point as you go down the stretch here in the second half of the season. So you're in Pittsburgh, crazy place to play, loud. The fans are in full throat, and they've usually got a lot of obscenities to yell at you. But the second half of the season here, down the stretch, this is where the rubber meets the road. So now you go to the Tennessee Titans. After the bye, back-to-back road games. November 20th at Pittsburgh, week 12, November 27th at Tennessee at the Titans. The last time the Bengals were in Tennessee, they gave up 9 quarterback sacks. Again, hopefully the offensive line is intact. All the guys that they signed and have drafted over the last couple of years and they signed in free agency, they're starting to mesh. They're starting to really protect Joe Burrow. This football team won a playoff game in Tennessee, giving up 9 sacks. Tennessee has blood in their eye about this. Ryan Tannehill has gone on record. He was in a dark place. He had to go see a therapist. 3 interceptions he threw. He feels like he cost his football team the game, and he had to go get some help to bounce back. This football team realizes the reason they won that game is because of the takeaways, and has to be better up front when the Bengals go to Tennessee for that rematch. Next up, December 4th. Here's where it really starts to get interesting. In the month of December and in the month of January, man, here are the Cincinnati Bengals, December 4th, play the Kansas City Chiefs, a 4:25 kickoff on week 13. All you're doing is playing Patrick Mahomes. The Bengals have beaten the Chiefs 2 straight games, being down 21-3 in one of them and 21-7 in the other. You can't think that you're going to continually come from behind 2 or 3 scores against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. Another team that has some blood in their eye about the way things transpired against the Cincinnati Bengals last year. Patrick Mahomes and company comes to Paul Brown Stadium in week 13. Week 14, the Cleveland Browns, 1 o'clock kick in Cincinnati. And, all I can say is the quarterback, Deshaun Watson, I'm sure, he's going to have a great run with the Cleveland Browns. But Baker Mayfield owned the Cincinnati Bengals. Baker Mayfield has a losing record against every other team in the NFL except the Cincinnati Bengals. He played his best football against Cincinnati. He only lost 1 time as a starter to the Bengals. So, for whatever reason, the Cleveland Browns have had the Bengals number. Cleveland swept Cincinnati last year. Cincinnati swept Pittsburgh, swept Baltimore. Cleveland swept Cincinnati last year in the division. So they get the Browns December 11th here at Paul Brown Stadium and get after the Brownies, get after Cleveland. December 18th, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Tampa Bay, 4:25. Again, the piggyback CBS kickoff. Tom Brady, the GOAT. A lot of people think Joe Burrow has a lot of qualities that Tom Brady has. Tom Brady's 19 years older than Joe Burrow. I don't think I've ever seen that kind of an age disparity. And when you look at it, they're both Pro Bowl type quarterbacks, obviously. Tom Brady is a surefire Hall of Fame quarterback. Joe Burrow is at the infancy of the beginnings of his career. Tom Brady has done it. He has a full hand of Super Bowl rings, and he's working on a second one. Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That defense is no joke as well. Man, hopefully the Bengals will have Joseph Ossai healthy, and he'll help with that edge rush, just like he did in the preseason down in Tampa Bay when Joseph Ossai came off the edge and sacked Brady right away, but then got hurt and missed the entire season. All he did was play half of that Tampa Bay game in Tampa Bay in the preseason. Maybe Ossai will help that edge rush and get after Tom Brady a little bit in that Week 15 tilt. Week 16, December 24th, Christmas Eve day. That's a Saturday at the Patriots. There are 3 games on Christmas. The Bengals aren't one of those. They play at 1 o'clock in New England, CBS. It's Bill Belichick. Mac Jones had a great rookie year. His team made the playoffs. He played in the Pro Bowl. They're saying the offensive coordinator moved on. Josh McDaniels, the head coach of the Raiders. Who's going to call the plays? Who's coordinating the offense? Is it Bill Belichick? Is it others? Is it going to be by committee? All I know is it's Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick changes his game plan offensively and defensively every week. When you get to Christmas Eve day of a season, Bill Belichick is a beast to deal with. I'm telling you. He's had more alterations and adjustments and whatever to his game plan on a week-to-week basis. They were going to look totally different. If you take tape of the New England Patriots in September, October, and then throw on tape of them at the end of November into December as you're getting ready for this game, they probably look totally different. That's just Bill Belichick at his finest. You can never discount going against Bill Belichick. And now 2 January games. January 2nd, Week 17, Buffalo Bills, Monday Night Football, ESPN. Allen comes to Cincinnati, comes to Paul Brown Stadium. This football team is an offensive machine. Defensively, they were number 1 in a bunch of categories last year, but then in the playoffs, they could not stop the Kansas City Chiefs. They couldn't come close. They kicked the ball off to the Kansas City Chiefs with less than a half minute to play and lose the football game. It's unbelievable. It was like a hot knife through butter. But this Buffalo Bills football team is no joke. They're well put together. They're solid offensive. They have a star at quarterback. They have tremendous skill players. Their defensive football team is a load. That's why it's a nationally televised game, ESPN, ABC, Monday Night Football. And then the last game of the season, and this has happened a bunch. The Bengals always seem to end the season in Baltimore or against Baltimore in Cincinnati. And this time it's the Ravens in Cincinnati. And Lamar Jackson, will he be healthy and still playing like Lamar Jackson? Lou Anarumo last year, the defense that he put out there against the Baltimore Ravens, against the Kansas City Chiefs, it was positionless. I mean, he had 5 down linemen. Sometimes he'd have 3 down linemen and 8 guys dropping into coverage against Mahomes. And you'd have Sam Hubbard playing linebacker, Logan Wilson playing defensive end, Logan Wilson playing spy, Sam Hubbard playing spy. He had all these, positionless players, tremendous versatility in their abilities, in their athleticism. I think with the people that he drafted and the speed that he's infused to his football team, they're going to even be more creative. Can't wait to see what they do against this schedule defensively, because you're going to be playing against a lot of outstanding quarterbacks, a lot of outstanding skill people. And this schedule, 5 nationally televised games, 2 Sunday night, 2 Monday night, and a Thursday night, and 3 4:25 kickoffs. A lot of people are going to be interested in what's going to happen with the Cincinnati Bengals this year.
At First Star Logistics, we're a very strict company that really puts the pressure on our employees. Breaks? What are those?
That's what I'm talking about, Icky. Get the body right, then the mind's right.
Gotta get that body right.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Become a star with a chance to earn the highest commission percentages in the industry as a freight broker agent. Check out firststarlogistics.com.